Hello everyone, this is your Krishna from Women Today YouTube channel. So in this channel we have been interviewing many women entrepreneurs, also working women across different cities in India and also across the world. So we have been doing many online interviews and also offline interviews across different cities in India. And for foreign persons we are doing online interviews. So today we are going to do an online interview with a very famous spiritual transformation coach and a healer. She is currently right now in Pune and her name is Tanu. So I welcome you, Tanu ma'am, to this Women Today YouTube channel. So hope you're doing good right now. So good afternoon, ma'am. Please introduce about yourself to the audience who are watching this interview right now, ma'am.
Hi, Krishna Kumar. First of all, I think I would like to thank you for having me here on your podcast. I am a professional spiritual transformational coach, mentor, and healer. Currently, I am living in Pune, and I've been doing this since last 4 to 5 years. And yeah, this is like my life purpose, my soul work, and I'm really delighted and looking forward to this conversation today.
Okay, so we have been interviewing many spiritual coaches like you, but I think we'll be having still more a lot of clarifications regarding this department right now. So we'll be having a lot of set of questions to ask, which I wanted to ask you. So the first question will be like your transition from the corporate world to embracing your soul's highest purpose as a spiritual transformation coach, as a mentor and a healer is actually incredibly inspiring for me. So, could you share me the pivotal moments of your journey? Like, what was your penny drop moment, and what advice would you offer to someone who feels similarity called but unsure of where to start now?
So I actually, I had a very traditional, successful life. So I was working in the corporate for more than 12 years. And I think I would have continued to work if I wouldn't have taken a break from work. So I took a sabbatical when my daughter was born about 7, 8 years back. And I went to Europe and I started traveling there we as a family we traveled like a semi digital nomads for 2 years, and that's when my spiritual journey actually began. And I because I had the time and space, so I went deeper into it. And there was this calling inside, always, while I was working in the corporate as well, despite having, at birth we all have been given this prescription of a successful life, right? So I had all the items on that checklist ticked. So I went to a very one of the top B schools in India, and a very successful career across different in financial and telecom sector. And I was earning quite a bit. And but then there was always this nagging voice within that there is more to life, there is more to me. And I did not have the right words to express what I really felt at that moment in time, but now I do. So I think that voice led me to where I am today. And the penny drop moment was, we were traveling in Europe, and because I had done my MBA, and my only identity was that I was a corporate woman. So I kept looking for jobs while I was in Europe, while I was traveling, and I also had just given birth to my daughter. Despite all of that, I was still looking for jobs because that was my only identity and I was holding on to it. And I would have applied to more than 100 jobs, because we were in a city where it was very difficult for me to find a job basis my background. So I think I got rejected from 99% places, and only one company actually called me for an interview. I cleared the first round of interview, and the second round happened at their office, which was like 2 hours away from where I lived in Germany. And I almost cleared that interview as well. And I was kind of, verbally promised the job. And 3 weeks later, while I was holidaying in one of the Canarian Islands, I received an email that they had hired someone else because that person knew German language. And that day, for the first time, rejection felt really good, because I think the burden, I felt like a burden was taken off my shoulders. So that was the penny drop moment for me. I just had this huge realization that this is not what I want to do. There is something more to life. That voice became louder and louder. And I think this was the first time that I made that decision that I'm going to listen to this voice, and I'm not going to, go back to the life that I had left behind, because, yeah, life is more than what I have lived, basically. Yeah. So, and to answer the second part of your question, what would I, suggest anyone who is going through something similar, is that listen to that voice. We all have this nagging, voice within, which is the voice of our intuition, or, higher self, which kind of knows what you're cut out for and what is your soul's path and purpose. But because of the way we have been brought up, and our conditioning, cultural, familial, religious, conditioning, we dismiss that voice and we shut it off, right, until it is too late. So I have learned it the hard way. And I would just suggest that just listen to that voice and follow it through, because just listening to the voice and not acting upon it, then universe has its own way of making life harder for you. um, unless and until you start listening, it's going to, create situations in your life that you'll be forced to listen. Yeah.
Yeah, similarly, I was also an engineering graduate. I was just pursuing my engineering studies, and after that, I went to a technical job. So then, after I made my mind like, okay, I always wanted to pursue the media, and I always wanted to work in a job that it requires me to face the camera. So it was just a quite good transformation for me. And I can understand from your perspective that you are in Germany, you are just trying to do a lot of, I mean, you are just trying for a lot of corporate jobs over there in Germany. And fortunately or unfortunately, you're not able to secure a good job. And also at the same time, it was like an eye-opening time for you, because you had this transformation from totally from a corporate technical one to a spiritual one, which is just like a call from the universe. Like the universe also always aligns with the patterns and the frequencies and the kind of thinking that we have, which matches our kind of energies with the outside world, and it always try to cater the things which will always suit our things, like whatever the things we needed. Of course, every soul which is born in this world have some kind of unique capabilities, and it is something like, okay, we have to achieve something in this world. Every soul, when it is born in this world, it will be like, okay, I'm in this world to achieve something, whatever I like to do, because only when you do the things which you like to do, then only your soul will be completely fulfilled, and you can go to the next part of the thing after your thing, like it's called mukti. Like you don't want to get another
Yeah.
birth in this human life, because since you already,
Self-realization.
yeah, that's the realization. Since you already fulfilled all your kind of things which you wanted to achieve in this world right now. So before moving on to the next question, ma'am, can you please just move a little bit backwards, a little bit backwards? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. Because there should be a healthy gap between you and the frame, so it's quite good right now. Okay, ma'am. So our second question will be like, so you often mention that healing is the foundation of manifestation. So could you explain what that truly means and how someone can begin their healing journey to manifest their desires effectively, ma'am?
I think there's a lot of misinformation out there, or rather, I would say incomplete information around manifestation. Because when I started this journey, I also went through the, same path, trying to, try different, techniques of manifestation. And then I realized that, first of all, it's very important for us to know and understand this very fact that we all are born manifestors. It's not something that we are learning now. It's just that it's inherent in us. We all are manifesting all the time. That's the law of the universe. It's just that we are manifesting unconsciously. Now, for us to be able to consciously manifest, healing plays a very, very important role, because if you understand that our mind, first of all, I mean, let's just talk about mind. We have different faculties, right? We have the body, the mind, and the intellect. we talk about mind, there are three parts to our mind. Okay, conscious mind, subconscious mind, and the unconscious mind. The subconscious and the unconscious mind is actually 95%, and only 5% is conscious mind. So this 95% is actually influencing 95% of our life's decisions. So it's very important that we educate ourselves of our own faculties, our own mind, how the mind works. And as far as healing is concerned, we also carry a lot of, wounds and trauma from the past, not just from this particular life, not just from childhood, but also over lifetimes, also from, our family and ancestral lineage. And it's a part of our unconscious self. Carl Jung says that unless you make the unconscious conscious, you will call it fate, right? So that's what is happening to all of us, mostly because we are unaware. We haven't, like really created that space for ourselves to educate ourselves, because life, I think everyone, all of us, and me included, we have this herd mentality of running after the same things that everyone else is running, towards, running after, without really applying our own intellect, without really applying our own agency. Like, why am I, chasing this kind of a success? What does it really mean to me? Do I really want it? We don't ask these important questions, right? And that's why we are unaware. That's why we do not understand that this is really needed. And a lot of people, a lot of my clients come to me that I have tried this manifestation technique, and I have done so many affirmations, nothing works, because we don't know how this whole thing works. We have, picked up information, bits and pieces from here and there, and we do not know the whole story, basically, right? So we just kind of, whatever we feel it's convenient for us, or whatever we have understood in bits and pieces, we try and do that, and then it doesn't work, and then we lose trust on it, right? So I think healing, and understanding, first of all, who we are, why are we here, where do we come from, and how our faculties work, how our chakra system works. So if somebody has any financial issue, so it's just that they could have, their root chakras blocked. So it needs healing. I mean, you can you cannot use your mind and logic and just keep repeating affirmations and attract wealth if your root chakra is blocked. It's like that. So it's much deeper, much layered, and much nuanced. It would be very difficult for me to explain everything over here, but I think it's very, very important that we consider healing, uh, if we want to become a conscious and a power manifestor.
Of course, I do understand that always a manifestation comes from our subconscious mind. Whatever we are thinking, like what to say, before going to sleep, that whatever we wanted to achieve, we just want to tell it before we are going to sleep. Like if you wanted to become a very big actor, you should always think like, okay, I'm going to be an actor. If you want to become a rich, then you should tell like, okay, I wanted to become rich. So whatever kind of manifestations you needed to do, you should say within yourself before the time you go to sleep. Because only at that time, our brain will have some kind of things which is running in our mind, which will automatically will let it go immerse itself into the subconscious mind. So only when our thoughts go into the subconscious mind, all the things happen accordingly, because we used to think like, okay, yeah, something is happening which I thought I needed to be, which needed to be happening in my life. Like what to say, this happens all because of a subconscious mind. Of course, the universe always try to align with the kind of things what we actually needed. So the only thing which we needed to do in order to do this kind of manifestation things is to immerse our thoughts into the subconscious mind. So I do understand that, ma'am. So we're just moving to the next question right now. So you speak about using integrated tools in your practice. So can you walk us through these tools and how they work together, ma'am? So, and also if someone were to begin their healing journey, so with you, so what would be your top recommendation for them to start with, ma'am?
Okay. So, like I said, that, healing is a prerequisite for manifestation. So, all my, group programs or one-on-one coaching and mentoring session or healing session, everything is, it has a very integrated approach. And by integrated, I mean that I use various modalities. So, one of the most important modality that, I have been working with is this beautiful, powerful, ancient Hawaiian technique, which is the Ho'oponopono prayer. And so it's a healing technique. And I also use subconscious rewiring techniques, and the universal laws, also ancestral healing. So there are various modalities. And most importantly, how I have designed my programs is it's a blend of, spirituality and science, because I also, study ancient scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita. I also run weekly Bhagavad Gita circles. So all my teachings have a very integrated and a very holistic approach. So I don't, so I started my healing journey with Reiki, but I don't introduce myself as a Reiki practitioner, or a Ho'oponopono practitioner, but as a, spiritual healer, coach, and mentor, because my intention is to give a holistic, kind of guidance to my clients. So if somebody comes to me, I first have a one-on-one conversation with them in terms of understanding where they are in their journey of life, and accordingly, so a lot of people, come quite broken, and they are just looking for help. They do not have that space of mind where they can work on themselves on their own. So they just go for healing. And to all such people, I recommend that they take Ho'oponopono distance healing sessions, which are very, very powerful. And so I do the healing for them. And slowly, when they come up to the mark where, they reach a space where um, they are they feel ready to, kind of start doing the work on their own, I recommend them to then start moving on to my group coaching programs, or take one-on-one private coaching sessions. So it depends, it is very customized and tailored, and I meet my clients depending upon where they are in their journey, rather than just trying to do what I know. Right? So that's what I mean by integrated approach. Yeah.
Also, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned that you were practicing the ancient technique like Polo, right? So please, can you please elaborately explain about it, ma'am?
Yeah, so Ho'oponopono is an ancient Hawaiian technique, and initially it was used only as a forgiveness prayer. But now, I think as times have evolved and more people have started using it, we have seen, huge results in terms of healing your relationship with yourself, with your physical body, your mental health, your relationship with time, money, and also your relationship with other people. So, Ho'oponopono is something that can be used to heal anything and everything in life. And the way it works is that it erases all the subconscious memories. So, like we just spoke about how the subconscious and the unconscious mind, controls our life, which we are completely unaware of, right? So, since the time the soul is born, let's say this is my 100th life, so I have reincarnated the 100th time. So I have lived 99 lives before this, right? So I have accumulated a lot of subconscious data, basis which my life in the current moment is being influenced because of that subconscious data. And Ho'oponopono says that if somebody is in your reality, so Krishna Kumar is in my reality, he comes to me as a client asking for help. So there is a shared memory between you and me, because of which you exist in my reality. And Ho'oponopono encourages you to take 100% responsibility as a conscious creator of your reality. So when you start taking responsibility, you take the power, and then you start, chanting the 4 phrase mantra, which is basically, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And this conversation is actually happening to your superconscious mind, or you can also call it the divine, that whatever shared memories I have with this particular person, I want to cleanse all of that. And because of these shared memories, these shared memories are, manifesting into whatever issues you might be having in your life. Yeah. So it works like that. And this is one healing modality where you don't really need the consent of the client, because the healer is always doing the cleansing on themselves in context of that person.
Ma'am, the next question is, so speaking about ancient wisdom plays a vital role in your teachings as you seamlessly integrate it with modern practices. So, what are the key teachings from the Bhagavad Gita that have profoundly shaped your path? And also, how can someone start exploring these kind of teachings from you, ma'am?
Okay. Okay. This is like one of my favorite, topics of conversation. So yeah, right when, in my spiritual path, I felt that I have figured it all out. Now I know all the, laws of the universe and how the subconscious works. And I had also started working professionally and helping other people. um Bhagavad Gita, just came and fell on my lap. That's exactly how it happened. I didn't go looking for, studying the scriptures. It just happened to me. And once I started studying the Bhagavad Gita, I realized that I know nothing. So everything that I thought was life all about, and my soul's journey is all about, and my highest purpose is all about, everything was challenged. And the scriptures have helped me to widen my perspective of life. And it has all the answers that one may have, a spiritual seeker may have on the path of spirituality. Bhagavad Gita has all the answers. It has basically laid down a crystal clear step by step process, a map for us, all of us to follow. The only thing is that it is very difficult to follow, right? And there are many teachings. I think I have studied the whole of Bhagavad Gita. It's more than 1,000 pages, at least once, and I'm doing it the second time. And each time go back to the study and study probably the same verses, the meaning, um, you get deeper insights from the same teachings, depending upon the work that you have done, or as a soul, whatever progress you have made on this path. um, so one of the most important teachings that has like really, profoundly changed the way I look at life is karma yoga. And there is a very beautiful chapter on renunciation in action. So usually there is this misconception that, when you are on the spiritual path, so you just kind of become a recluse, you give up life, and you just sit and meditate. But that's not how it is. You definitely live in the world and do everything else that everyone else is doing. So basically you are in the world, but you are not of the world. It just means that you're completely detached from the world, and you go completely unaffected. So renunciation in action basically encourages you to, whatever. So first of all, it's very important for all of us to have a higher ideal in life, a higher purpose in life, which is beyond us and beyond our self-centered interests, something for a larger cause, for the community or for the nation or for humanity or for the planet, a higher ideal. Once you have that higher ideal, you need to kind of, oblate all your actions, perceptions, your emotions, feelings, thoughts, everything need to be directed towards that higher ideal. And when I say renunciation in action, it basically means that you do whatever you need to do without making it all about yourself, because you are not the doer. You are just a channel of divine creation. And you just need to take action without any expectation of the outcome. Stay completely detached from the outcome, because when we take an action with an expectation of an outcome, the action becomes impure. So that's what Bhagavad Gita says, that to maintain the purity of the action, you need to renunciate in the action. You don't renunciate the action, but you renunciate in the action. Basically, you let go of your attachments to the outcome, or let go of all the expectations of the outcome of the action that you're taking.
Yeah, speaking about the Bhagavad Gita fell in your lap, I do understand that the universe always tries to connect with you. I think this is one of the sign, and also the same time, the last answer which you told that whenever we do some kind of work, we should always kind of concentrate on the work which we are doing right now. We should always not
Yeah.
try to think like, okay, how much money will I be able to earn if I do the work right now, and what will be the kind of outcomes which we'll be able to get once we finish the work. So
Yeah.
our mind will be like totally thinking about the kind of results, and will be and because of that, our subconscious mind will be not programmed to concentrate on the work.
Yeah.
So
You're
it's like,
right.
yeah, it's basically like a scientific reasoning. So this scientific reasoning is always mentioned in our ancient Indian histories. So
Absolutely.
according to Bhagavad Gita, so that's also the same thing which is actually taught by them. So now we are moving on to the next question. So the concept of living on purpose is often discussed, ma'am. So, but many struggled to find their true calling. So, what is the best way to uncover one's purpose of life, and what did your journey look like in actually discovering yourself, ma'am?
Like I said, I was in the corporate and I was living this traditional successful life. I thought that was my purpose. Or rather, I didn't even know whether I'm supposed to have a purpose. So I was pretty much deluded, I would say, like most of us are in general, because we are just doing the things that everybody else is doing without really thinking about it. So I just remember this very vividly, that I was having this conversation with a colleague of mine while I was just contemplating on whether I should move to Germany or not, or because so we lived in Germany because my husband had relocated there. He was on a contract. So I had a choice of staying back in India and continuing with my job, or just take a sabbatical and travel in Europe. So I was just having this conversation with a colleague, and I just said few words which I didn't think. I just said, I feel I will find my calling there. And I had no idea what it really meant. I just said it. And now when I look back in retrospect, I feel the divine was speaking to me through me. And so, yeah, I think what's most important is, if somebody is like really actively looking for their purpose, is that each one of us, first of all, um, if we have reincarnated on planet Earth, we all are unique souls, and we have this unique blueprint, a soul map with which all of us have been born with. It's just that we have forgotten about it. So, this whole journey is actually a path of remembering who we truly are and why we are here. So, it's very definite that all of us do have a life purpose, a soul purpose. And so, there's no question about it. It's just that I just wanted to clear that out first, that each one of us we do have a purpose. Okay. Now, how can I find that purpose? Is the purpose will reveal itself to you when you create space for it to reveal itself to you. And by that, what I mean is, if I have to give my own example, when I was traveling in Europe, I had a lot of time and space for me to contemplate and introspect and reflect on life. That's when, things started coming on my way. And what I did, which was the most important thing, now I understand that each one of us should do if they're like really wanting that to discover their purpose, is that listen to that inner voice. Don't shut it off, because it has all the answers of all the questions that you have. I mean, we all have these existential questions, right? Why am I here? Is this all that I have to do in my life? Go to work and take care of kids and take care of parents, and that's about it. I mean, have a car, have a house, and just travel once in a year. I mean, is it all about it? So if we have these questions, there is always an answer, and your soul, your higher self has the answer. So purpose will reveal itself to you when you create that space for the revelation to happen. Um, and do the inner work. You have to do the work for your soul to start speaking to you. You have to establish that connection.
Of course, every soul, as I mentioned before, has some kind of unique purpose in this life, and one should always try to connect with the soul. One should always try to listen to the kind of thoughts, with the kind of answers which is actually spoken from our soul. I do understand that, Padam. So now we are moving on to the seventh
Actually,
question.
I just wanted to add this that actually, so I discovered now I understand this is my soul's purpose, but it didn't happen. It was not planned in a way that I found this first. You know, when I started traveling, I started loving travel first. Then I started writing. I started travel writing. And when I was doing travel writing, I figured that I was not enjoying writing about the places I visited, but I was enjoying writing about what those places did to me internally. So what were the shifts that were happening within me? So I was always writing more from a spiritual perspective, you know, and that felt really good to me. So I think anybody who is looking for discovering their purpose should just follow that feeling of feeling good. What exactly in life is making you feel good? Anything that you're passionate about, any artistic endeavors. I mean, we always try to push them aside and say that, okay, when I have time, I will do this. But that time never comes. So just follow that feeling of feeling good. And I think in divine time, the purpose is going to come to you.
Yeah, actually, I also wanted to share my experience like you. Since the same as you, that you traveled to Germany, that you wanted to make a lot of travels, explore a lot of places by traveling. So you are concentrating on the travel part. But when we are doing it, your soul was something lagging in it, and it was lacking something in it. And after some time, you found out the sole purpose of your life, and you found out that okay, doing some kind of works related to spiritual transformation coach and as a healer is a kind of good thing which feels the good in you. So that which you actually told happened in my life now, because since you are telling that you had no purpose while you are traveling, and people do not know want to worry about the kind of purpose. Once they step out and once they're doing something, the universe will always try to align, and it will give you the answer, your sole purpose. The
Yeah.
same way, I was just traveling to many places across India. I was used to do a lot of travel vlog in YouTube videos. Like I used to travel to Delhi, Mumbai, Pune. I visited many places like in India and Amritsar. And I traveled to Singapore. I stayed there for around more than 2 months. And I was just exploring a lot of places abroad over there. And I was like making travel videos out there. And I was just doing for many months, many years. And I was just, okay, even if we do many travel videos, we should do something unique. Then I was thinking like I went to Pune, then I made the first interview in Pune, actually, offline interview over there. So at that time, okay, this is because in YouTube, I used to just put a lot of categories in one single YouTube channel, like whether I used to put travel vlogs on there, I used to put a lot of speaking videos in there, cooking videos in there, a lot of what to say, informative videos in there, and the YouTube was not able to pick up the kind of theme which I was putting. Then
Mm-hmm.
most of the people were just advising me like to follow a separate theme, and I was just confused. Okay, I always wanted my work to be in front of the camera, and also I wanted to do something in the YouTube, but I'm always just putting everything in one single channel. And after that, I made up my mind like, okay, why can't we find one single theme? Then this interview journey started going, and I think this universe always try to align with the frequency. And this actually, you told at the very end of the answer that do what makes you feel good. I think most of the people who are actually giving their reviews like, okay, this kind of interviews is something like which will be a mutual kind of help to both of us. So the clients will be able to kind of tell the kind of business or service that they're doing right now. And in turn, interviewing many people, I always wanted to network with many people. And this is the kind of thing which actually makes me network with a lot of people. So this is how the universe tries to align them. So I do understand, if one wants to find a sole purpose in one's life, never worry about it. It will always come to you at the right time. Just do
Absolutely.
whatever you wanted to do. So yeah, I do
Yeah.
understand now. So, and also I wanted to tell you that is that intuition is a very powerful tool. So, how can someone develop and cultivate their intuition? So, and in what ways has following your intuition guided you on your own partner?
I think everything that has happened to me in the last 8 years um, is 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 an is a product of me taking intuitive guidance and decisions based on that, and so much so that some of the biggest decisions, like, so I lived in Europe for 5 years, and I actually planned to settle in there. Um, and just one fine day, I decided that I want to move back to India. And that was an intuitive guidance, a spiritual download I had received during my journaling session that morning. So, yeah, this was one of the biggest, decisions that I took, and my family aligned with it. So everything, the transition happened very smoothly. It just felt like, everything was already planned. I only had to, make that decision. And this is one decision that has worked so beautifully for all of us. We don't have any regrets. Um, and there were far more, many deeper reasons why I was guided to do so. For intuition, I think, like I said, there is this voice inside all of us, and we all know, we are very much aware of that voice, which keeps telling us what is good for us, what is right for us, whenever we are trying to, let's say, please someone at the cost of saying no to ourselves. We know that there is this voice which is telling us that that's not the right thing that you're doing. You just have to start listening to that voice. That's the first step. Second step is that now that you have started listening and you're deepening your connection with your intuition, you have to start, following the guidance, because this is absolutely, it's useless to just listen and not do anything about it, right? And it's going to just suffocate you more and more, that you know what your soul is guiding you towards, yet you have this fear or resistance, or your ego self is, you're giving more and more power to your ego self, and therefore not listening to your higher self. It just kind of makes life worse for you. So you have to start listening to that voice, and once you receive those guidance, those messages, because universe and your intuition, your higher self is always communicating with you through conversations, through music, through everything. You will also, the more you listen, the deeply you listen to your intuition, you will also start experiencing a lot of synchronicities in your reality, right? Something even before that happens, you will just kind of have that knowing that this is going to happen. So this is a very magical process. And what's most important over here as a skill is, you have to let go of your need to know, your need to have a certain life. We all have this fear of uncertainty, right? So I can speak for myself. I was a person who would like to plan and would like to know everything. So it was very hard for me, in fact, to follow this kind of an intuitive guidance, where I have no idea what my next step is going to be. But this is how the path is. Once you start walking on the path starts revealing itself to you. You will not be told what is, if you start from here, this is what your destination is going to look like. No, you have to, take a leap of faith. And I usually tell this to my clients, that it is like a free fall into the abyss, where you have no idea whether you will land anywhere or not, but you have to take that free fall with this unwavering trust and faith that you will be taken care of, and you will land at the right place at the right time. So that is the work of intuition, and it's always going to guide you to the best places, and your life is going to unfold in the most magical way. For developing intuition, I think it's just twofold process. You have to listen and follow, and practice doing this every day. Create space for that.
Of course, whatever you told is the right thing, ma'am, because many leaders used to say the same thing without knowing that they are speaking in a very spiritual way. So, as you told, no need to worry about the kind of a path that is not even existing. The only thing we should do is always try to listen to the intuition. Something will be known to us even before happening. So something will be
Yeah.
like, okay, this is going to happen. Okay, something good is going to happen. Okay, something that is not right. There's something there is no bad is going to happen. So everything starts from our intuitions. If our intuition tells that go over there, there is something good over there, there is some good work over there in another city. Like consider you are in Germany and your intuition told like go to India, there is some kind of work for you over there. You are just like,
Yeah.
okay, we don't have any experience over there. How we are going to go and survive? So what will be your future? It's totally in a kind of uncertainty mode. So no need to worry about anything. Of course, life is something like we don't have any kind of blueprint for our life. We should always try to work. So we should always try to walk in a path where there is a no any kind of actual way. The thing is that we should always try to follow our intuition. So if your intuition tells like, okay, do this kind of thing, and if we don't have any kind of road over there, there is no, consider if you're going to a city and there is no any kind of a road which leads to you in the city, but you have made your destination, you have made your mind like, okay, we have to reach this destination, come or not may. So at that point of time, you will be able to find a lot of routes which will lead into you to the destination in the same way. So once we make up our life, once we decide with that kind of decision by listening to our intuitions from our soul, from our heart, so we'll be like, okay, whatever happens, we'll just do it. We will step out of our home, and actually there will not be any kind of roadmaps actually do existing, but the path will be created once we step out, once we start walking, taking a step by step foot, then our path will be automatically created. The universe will be trying to put a lot of things which will able to which will help us to just walk on that kind of path, and automatically it will just go, and finally we can reach our destination. So that's a great thing which is explained by you, ma'am. So also I want to discuss on the other facts. So there are critical aspects of healing that are often overlooked, such as subconscious wiring, ancestral wounds, and trauma which is stored in the body. So, can you shed light on how these elements are interconnected and why addressing them is essential for holistic healing, ma'am?
Going back to the example of, let's say I want to manifest abundance and wealth in my life, right? But let's say I have, this huge ancestral wound of, scarcity mindset in my family lineage, right? So no matter how much of work I do in the physical world, working hard, money will either it will be very difficult for me to earn money, or it will be very difficult for me to save money, or I mean, like I said, it's very layered and multidimensional. Any issue that you feel as is an issue in your life has a lot of layers to it. And therefore, understanding and having a proper strategy, I often say this, that healing is actually a strategy. Manifestation is also a strategy. And when I say it's strategy, it basically means that if you're trying to manifest wealth, it is we can apply an 80-20 rule over here. 80% strategy and 20% aligned inspired action. And by strategy, I mean you need to be in alignment in terms of you need to do the identity work. First of all, can you become that person who is capable of receiving and holding that kind of wealth? So what comes into the picture over here is, does your nervous system feel safe to earn that kind of money? So let's say I have this ancestral, history of having severe money wounds, wealth wounds in my family lineage. So my body will never feel safe to receive huge amounts of wealth. And even if I receive, I will lose it pretty quickly. So healing those aspects of me, understanding your family lineage and the wounds that you're carrying, because often um, it happens that anybody who is doing the healing work, that person has been appointed or chosen by the ancestors to do the healing work for their family line. So it is a matter of great privilege And so therefore they have this huge support from their ancestral line to do the healing work, and they are actually, breaking this cycle of trauma and wounding, generational trauma, by doing the work. And when you do the healing work, and I keep going back, and I may sound like a broken record over here, is healing is so important. And I'm so passionate about this whole topic. Is why, because when you do the healing, you are actually healing 7 generations, not just your generation, but 3 generations that has come before you, and 3 generations which is going to come after you, including your kids. So it is a huge responsibility. So one cannot like really go on the path of manifestation, and like people say, I'm on the spiritual path and I'm manifesting this, that. It doesn't really work. If you really sit down with them and have a conversation, you will realize that a lot of techniques are failing, and they are failing because we have got them all wrong. We are not working on the basics, and healing is basics. Working on your ancestral lineage is basics. And if somebody is curious about how to work on the ancestral healing part, is I think something that has come to me of late in my life is family constellation therapy, and it is helping me to jump timelines, if I can say so. Like the healing, the pace at which I'm healing is has accelerated manifolds. Then there is somatic work, that you work with your body. You understand how your body feels when you feel different kind of emotions. How can you sit with your emotions? How can you sit with the discomfort that all these uncomfortable emotions bring to you? How can you allow that emotion to move through you? So all of these are very, it's an everyday work. It is not like I go for a retreat once in a year and I will be healed and I will be able to manifest and create a life I desire. It doesn't work like that. It's a daily work, and healing is a continuous journey. It's not, there is no end point. And whatever work you do, very important for me to bring this over here, is that whatever work you do in this particular lifetime, it's going to transcend along with you when you leave this body, and go on to reincarnate in your next lifetime, in your next body. All this healing work is a part of your subtle body. It is, you are not going to leave this here with your physical body when you die. So all of this work, nothing is going waste. Everything, you are going to carry it along with you, and you're going to start your next life wherever you have ended this particular life at.
Of course, the karmas will always follow our kind of things in this life and also in our next life. And also at the same time, as you told, if we do not heal the kind of traumas which we are facing right now, of course, it will pass down to the next generation. In speaking of scientific terms, our DNA carries the kind of history, the kind of diseases they had, the kind of strengths they had. It will always pass down from one generation to the another generation. So if we do not have any kind of proper healing in our trauma that we are facing right now, the kind of diseases which we needed to be treated right now, in the kind of physical state, in the mental state, it will always be passed down to the next generation. So healing, I think that's the best thing which we can do to ourselves, and not only to ourselves, but always to the next generation. And also at the same time, retreats are needed for many people. Like what to say, a transformational retreat is very much needed for a lot of people. But the thing is that once we have transformational retreat, as you told, so day by day we should follow some kind of things which should actually heal. It's not like a 1 month, it's not like a 2 month retreat thing, it's not like one day retreat thing. It's always the kind of things which we do daily in our daily basis of our life. So it's like what to say, we are having some kind of diseases in our body, we are going to a hospital, we are taking some medications, we are going for a surgery. So it's like, okay, we have done. It's not like that. Retreat is not like that. So it's same thing, like what to say, once after a retreat, we should always try to do some kind of good things in our life. In the same way, once after surgery, once after we do a medication, we should always try to have some good food in our life, daily basis. So then only we'll be able to eliminate the kind of things which is not needed to a mental state and to a physical state. That's a great explanation from you, man. So also at the same time, can you share a recent client breakthrough that deeply impacted you? A moment where you weren't sure of the outcome, but were reassured of the power of the work that you do, ma'am?
Okay, that's a very powerful question. So actually there are many, but one that has happened like just in this month actually is that one client came to me via referral, and she was suicidal, you know. And I had an hour-long conversation with her one-on-one in a private setup, and I wasn't sure of anything that I was saying, if it was helping or not helping. And but over the 60 minutes time that we spent, I could see that energy shift towards the end of the call that we had. And she sent me a very beautiful message as well later. And to keep the anonymity, I would not be able to disclose all of that. Um, but right now, she is undergoing, taking healing sessions from me and also doing one-on-one coaching with me. But the fact that she was suicidal created a lot of self-doubt in me, because I didn't know if I was the right person that she was seeking help from. And I kept telling the other client through which this client had come, that I don't know if I would be the right person. She said, um, so my client said that no, I know you are the right person. So that's the kind of trust and faith that your clients show in your work. But after completing this conversation, and now when I see where she is today, over the last 2 weeks, there has been this tremendous progress that she has made emotionally. She was suicidal, and right now she's almost, coming to a stage where she's more acceptive of whatever life is bringing to her. And also, she has moved from being powerless and being in that victim mindset to taking more responsibility and taking her power back and seeing what she can do about whatever life has brought for her in her reality. And the most important thing that we spoke about in our last conversation was, this is her rebirth. The version 2.0 uh, is being birthed. So that was very empowering for her. And yeah, so this one incident kind of, yeah, it was very reassuring for me that I'm on the right path and doing the right thing. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. In today's world, many people are facing a lot of issues. People, today's world, they'll be like, if they're hurted by one person, then that's it. They'll always make a mindset like, okay, we have been already hurted by one person. So most of the person will be like that only. So out of
Yeah.
100 people, if one people is going to hurt you, then it will create a trauma in your memory. Like even if you meet the other 99 persons who are good in your life, you will be having like, okay, that person has done something wrong in your life, and these are the persons will also follow the same path. So at this kind of
Yeah.
situations, there are many situations which are coming in a kind of different kind of perspectives. Most of the people will be like financially they'll be having a lot of burden. They'll be having, most of the people will be financially they'll be very rich, but also at the same time mentally they will be broken down. Most of the people they will be mentally broken down, and also at the same time they will be physically strong. So there are a
Yeah.
lot of combinations happening over there. So we can't assume which person is very strong. If you see a person, they'll be like physically strong and they'll be mentally weak. They'll be having a lot of trust issues. They'll be having a lot of uncertainties happening within them. So why I can say a lot of things is I'm the person who is going through all of these. I have already overcome all these kind of things. People used to say to me personally like, okay, he is a very happy person, but I know how I'm going through a lot of kind of things, like what to say, what I'm going to do in the next thing, like what to say. If they're asking me about the kind of certainty in the job that I'm doing right now, I'll be like, okay, I have this intuition that I'm going to do good in this kind of job which I'm doing right now. But at the same time, because of a lot of questionings from the society, we'll be going through a lot of depression. And
Yeah.
this depression in terms, in scientific terms, it creates some kind of anxiety, and this anxiety will always make us go through a lot of kind of rough things. Our sail in life will be like a rough sea. So at this one point of time, what I always wish from other people is kindly talk to some person. It's not like you
Yeah.
should go talk to a spiritual healer like you, but it's always about the kind of people who will actually make you come out of the depression. Of course, each and every person who is suffering some kind of sufferings in their life, the only person who can help themselves is the same person who is suffering the depression. Yes, it's us. Only ourselves can help ourselves. Only the people who are going to save yourself from the kind of depression you're going through is you. But
Yeah.
even though there is, if some person lends us a helping hand, then it is something like which we should look forward. And I think the person who has come to you speaking seeking a spiritual healer, the universe has actually sent you as a person who has the power of a spiritual healer. He also sent a person for him or her, and also at the same time, the universe has given a very powerful tool, that is a spiritual healer. So you are,
Yeah.
yes, you are going in the right path, and the universe has guided them to come to you in also in the same right path. And yes, I do accept that the fact which we are discussing right now is the correct fact. So right now we are moving on to the next question, ma'am. So do you believe in the concept of the soul's journey, and what do you think is the true purpose of our existence here on earth, and how does that actually shape the work that you're doing right now, ma'am?
Yeah, so since I started, studying the Bhagavad Gita, I think a lot of clarity in terms of what is my life's purpose and why am I here? What am I supposed to do with my life, basically, became clearer and clearer. So yes, of course, I do believe in the concept of all of us being souls over here, and we all are going through the cycle of rebirth and death. And as it is mentioned in the scriptures that we all have, this karmic blueprint, right? Which is in the scriptures, it is written as vasanas. So we all have our vasanas, and because of which, we are, stuck basically in the cycle of rebirth and death. And vasanas are nothing but, desires which we have accumulated over many lifetimes, right? And while there is nothing wrong in having a desire, but what comes along with a desire or is something that keeps us in this looping cycle, right? So there are only two ways to go. When you start working towards achievement or fulfillment of a desire, there are two things that may happen. Either you will fulfill that desire, and thereby that one desire will give birth to many more desires, and you will be in this cycle of desires. And the other thing that may happen is that your desire will not be fulfilled, and you will have a lot of anger, frustration, stress, anxiety, and mental agitation, right? So this basically keeps us stuck. And the scriptures encourage and motivate us to reduce our desires and exhaust our vasanas and have a higher ideal, have a higher purpose, and give meaning to your life because of which you have actually reincarnated. So the soul basically, the universe basically is ever expanding, right? And we are a very inherent part of the universe. So as a soul, also the only objective we have is to learn, grow, expand, and evolve, right? So that's what the soul is here for. And because we are looking for all the answers to all our questions only in the material world, we think that if I have the next version of the iPhone, I will be happy. If I have this 30 lakhs car, I'll be happy. If I have a bigger house, I'll be happy. If I travel instead of once in a year, 5 times in a year, I'll be happy. All of these are, it's called maya, right? It's an illusion. So none of this is actually going to fill that void that you have unless you understand what that void is all about. And that void is basically we not following the path of our soul's purpose, the higher purpose for which we have all incarnated over here. Yeah, so studying the scriptures, and there's a very beautiful book called The Journey of the Soul by Michael Newton. That has also, brought in a lot of clarity for me in my journey as to, what's my unique purpose. And at the end of the day, all the souls, whether we are aware or not, the only purpose we have, the highest, the most important purpose we all have is self realization, which you also called mukti or nirvana or moksha, which we all want to attain at the level of the soul. That is the highest purpose. But for us to be able to attain self realization, I think there is a step by step process. And you need to first start thinking beyond yourself and have some unselfish motives in life and reduce your desires. And it's an everyday work. Yeah.
Of course, desires, as said by Buddha, the reason for sufferings is the kind of desirings which we have in our life. So, actually, desirings is kind of what to say, in a kind of scientific manner, if we say it's like a kind of threshold, like everyone will be having some kind of limits in their life. Like what to say, if I'm earning around 10 lakhs per annum, then I'll be like, after earning the 10 lakhs per annum, I'll be like, I should earn 1 crore per annum. Then after 1 crore per
Yeah.
annum, I should do a business like 10 crore per annum. So this desires,
Yeah.
it doesn't have any kind of threshold. It keeps on going. It not
Yeah.
only comes in the financial things, but also in kind of other desires. Consider it may be a good desire, it may be a bad desire, it is not having any kind of limits. So once we achieve one certain limit, then we are in the first level. Then after in that first level, we'll be going to the second level, third level, fourth level. We'll be thinking like it will be having just till 100th level. But the thing is that it is having infinity levels. We do not know at what point in our time we'll be having our desires fulfilled. And also the same time, you are telling like we should always kind of what to say, we should not have always thinking about yourself ourselves. We should always be okay, we should be kind of fulfilled in our life to whatever the things which we are having right now. So I think that is the only path which will lead us to the other thing, that is the moksha. That is that once we
Yeah.
attain the moksha, we will not be having any kind of others rebirth in our earth. Because if we are getting any kind of rebirth in our life, we should have some kind of soul purpose. Then that soul purpose is to attain the desires which we haven't achieved in the past life. Or maybe it's like
Yeah.
kind of karmas, the karmas which we did good or bad karma. In order to finish that karma, we are attaining this again rebirth in this earth right now. So in order to achieve the moksha, the only thing which we should do is consider we are fulfilled. Only when we think our soul is fulfilled, only when we think our stomach is fulfilled, we will be stop eating. So in the same
Yeah.
way, we should always think like, okay, we have achieved something in our life. Consider, yeah, we have achieved 1 crore earnings in our life. We have one good home. We have one good family. I think I am fulfilled. So instead of that, our family is still not in a very good condition. We should always try to earn more. These kind of thoughts not only affect us physically and mentally, but in turn, in spiritual way, it doesn't make us lead into a path towards moksha. That's a kind of great
Yeah.
answer from you, ma'am. So for someone who actually feels stuck, overwhelmed, or trapped in cycles of overthinking, procrastination, or anxiety, and has tried everything without any kind of success in their life, what steps or guidance would you offer to help them break free? Because I have seen many lot of people, including consider myself. I have done a lot of works, but the thing is that without tasting the success, it's like it's like we will feel like going waste. So what kind of steps or guidance would you actually tell to these kind of people who actually kind of seek help from you coming to as a clients, ma'am?
Yeah, so what's most important is that we realize, accept, and acknowledge that there is something which is not going right. And there is only mind and logic can only work to a certain extent. Beyond that, I think we have to start allowing ourselves to like really, come into a space where we are more soul and heart led, um, which is going to help you to not beat yourself up for something which is not going right, but develop more empathy and compassion for whatever it is that you're going through, and have a deeper perspective. So, for example, if someone uh, has an issue of procrastination, for example, first of all, where we go wrong is we kind of label ourselves, or have this identity of a procrastinator. So that is where we have to start. We have to let go of that identity of being a procrastinator, and change the way we speak about ourselves, and say that, okay, fine, I do procrastinate, and try to understand what could be the deeper reasons. And often, and I could give you my example, I've been trying to write a book since last 4 years, and I thought that I was procrastinating because that's what the world tells you, right? You have to take action, and if you want to write a book, you have to just write it, right? So every day you have to write, let's say, 1,000 words, and over a period of time your book will be ready. But it's not so simple as it looks, because procrastination, when it looks like procrastination, could be, at a deeper level, it could be fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of being seen. So for me, all of this, came to the surface when I did deep healing work on that. That why am I not able to, and my mind is bustling with a lot of ideas that I have, and spiritual downloads and intuitive guidance in terms of what I need to write in my book. And yet I see that I have this huge wall of resistance that goes up, where I just feel that I cannot write, in spite of having so many ideas. And that's because I have this latent fear, which is very deep rooted, of fear of being seen. So since my childhood, and could be, and all of these issues that you may figure that, they could be connected with your childhood or your previous lifetimes, or some kind of trauma or wound that you have inherited from your ancestors. So, as a child, I always been like an invisible child. So I'm just there, and that's how my nervous system has felt safer, that nobody's looking at me. So even if I'm there, I just exist. But then I am always hiding, So I'm like an invisible child. So I've been grown up like that. So if so that fear is very deep rooted. So I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be known, and I'm still working on it. So that's why I procrastinate. Or somebody else could be procrastinating because they have this fear of rejection. So, same example, if I write a book and I publish this book, who is going to read it? Probably, I'm not a good writer. Who says, who am I to write a book? All of these questions could, you know, disguise itself, all this fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of being seen, could disguise itself and manifest itself as a surface level issue which looks like procrastination, but actually it is not procrastination. So anybody going through all sorts of problems, I would suggest that you sit with it and try to have a deeper understanding of what it is really, rather than just working with the symptoms. I mean, symptoms are here to guide you, but they are not the actual reasons. We might have much deep rooted layered issues beneath that. And what's most important is that you need to take help. This is not something that I mean, a lot of people do try doing it all by themselves, but I think you need to seek support and help whenever it is needed. And there is no shame in that. World, but I do have my own mentors and coaches and healers with whom I work for my own sake, right? So we all need each other, and let's not try and do all of this all by ourselves, because this journey is not a bed of all roses. It's difficult, and you need someone to really hold your hand and guide you through.
So I was just again and again thinking that whatever you're telling is the kind of things which you're telling because of the kind of life experience which you're actually facing from the beginning till right now, ma'am. So it's actually a good journey of you. So actually, on the other hand, many people actually begin their healing or a spiritual journey, but often give up. So begin, consider not only in a spiritual journey, consider it maybe in any job that will be they will be starting, but the thing is that they will not be finishing it. They'll be just leaving it in the middle. And also, especially when it comes to practices like meditation. So, in your experience, what do you think is the main reason for this? And how can they overcome it to stay committed to their growth? Because consider, if it may be a new year, most of the people will be like, okay, this is a new year, we have to hit to the gym, we have to grow our muscles. But in the middle of the thing, they'll be just living and going on. So not only in kind of one department, consider in many departments, because it's the kind of human nature. They'll be always very focused to start in the beginning. And once, consider maybe even in love or wedding, in any work that you'd like to love to do, you would be loving to start it. But after a certain period of time, they'll be like quitting. So what do you think is the main reason for quitting this kind of spiritual journey in the kind of meditation? And how do you actually help them to follow their path in this kind of spiritual growth in their life, ma'am?
I think as a healer, anyone who comes to me, I set the expectations right from the very beginning that this is not a magic pill. So do not expect any overnight success. This is not allopathy medicine. So, and healing is a continuous journey. So setting the right expectations is very, very important for anyone who is on a self-healing journey. Also needs to educate themselves first of all, because like I said, there's a lot of misinformation. So you need to go to the right places, have the right kind of guidance in your life, so that you have the right information, the right knowledge. And once you have the right knowledge, right information, and you are able to set the right expectations, you will not give up, because you know exactly what this journey entails, right? And the second thing, which is very important, is why do you want to do something, right? What is your why? What is the biggest reason why you want to meditate, right? And what works for me is that once I know for sure why for example, you gave this example of New Year resolution of going to the gym. So I always felt that I am not a gym person. So that's, there you go. That's the first step to failure, that we have these narratives, right? This identity. So you need to shift that identity first. So I had to actually work on that identity, and because I used to get very inspired by other people who go to the gym and who are very fit. And so I had to make that shift in my identity and start telling myself that yes, I can, I am a fit person, I am a healthy person, I have, I am focusing on my health, etc. And once you know your why, that why lays the whole foundation. All you need to do is just show up every single day, have the right expectations. And if I have to quote Bhagavad Gita here, stay detached from the outcome. Your only work is to show up consistently and keep repeating, keep practicing, keep repeating. Don't do it for some kind of performance. It has to be like worship. You're worshiping your work, any kind of work that you do, whether it is meditation or going to the gym, anything that you're doing, it has to be like a worship. Do it with that kind of devotion. Don't first tell me, what will I achieve by doing this? If I go to the gym every day, tell me what will be the outcome. You know the outcome, and that is why you want to do it. But you are expecting results much earlier in the process, and that's why you give up, right? So you need to understand what exactly this journey entails and educate yourself. I always tell people, I think education is personal responsibility. Nobody will come and educate you. We live in this hyper connected world. Chat GPT is there, right? So you have plethora of information. Just make that effort and educate yourself about yourself, right? It's very unfortunate that we do not even know how our mind works, how our body works. There is something called as intellect. So I think it's personal responsibility to understand how things work, educate yourself, get the right information, have the right expectations, and just show up, have the discipline, take responsibility.
Of course, you told everything in a very nutshell, but the thing is that it is very having a great impact. as we discussed that you are telling like, okay, most of the people quit the job that they wanted to do. They know the results. It is kind of thing. The results are something like mind blowing. It will surely happen. But the thing is that they're expecting the quicker results. That's the thing
Yeah.
which make them to quit their journey, because they think like, okay, in the middle of the journey somewhere they'll be thinking like, okay, I have been working for long, but why haven't I reached my destination? Because we are planning for something which is a massive thing. Very massive thing
Yeah.
actually takes massive time. Consider you're going to construct like a great Eiffel Tower in Paris, or like what to say, some kind of Burj Khalifa in Dubai, or you're going to plant a simple tree in your backyard of your home. A tree
Yeah.
requires many years to grow, to firmly put their roots and kind of maintain an establishment with the ground. At one point
Yeah.
of time, when you're watering your tree, you'll be thinking like, why should I water my tree? Because I have been watering it for more than 6 months. I have been watering it for more than 1 year, but the tree hasn't still started growing. The thing is that you have to remember one thing: you're not planting a flower. You're not planting a very small flower. A small flower will take at least minimum 2 months, but this is a massive, gigantic tree. So, based upon your
Yeah.
dreams, based upon the things that you wanted to achieve in your life, it takes a certain period of time. So, make sure that you believe that your result will go in a very massive, good, successful way. And please do not quit. The only
Yeah.
thing you should do when you start a spiritual growth or your manifestation growth, start believing yourself, no matter that, consider that even it may be achieved at the end point of your life. But the thing is that don't worry, your good karmas will always follow you, and it will, of course, it will take a time, but I tell it to myself that even if it takes time, it will happen some or the other day, man. Sure, thank you. And
Hmm.
also at the same time, you often mention that healing happen in spirals. Could you explain what that actually truly means? And what can someone expect from their healing journey? And how can they embrace it with patience and trust? That's the again the same question which I answered from my own answer, because healing always happens in spirals, and at one point of time it starts fading. Often mention that healing happens in spirals, ma'am. So could you explain what that truly means? Because what can someone expect from the healing journey, and how can they embrace it with patience and trust, ma'am?
Yeah, so like I said, I think we are all souls, and we are on this, journey that transcends lifetimes. So there's a lot that we are carrying from the past, and therefore, also in this particular life, if you're let's say 30 years old, so there is a certain way you have practiced living your life in the last 3 decades, and now that if you want to make any changes, um, it is not going to happen overnight, right? So therefore I say that healing is not linear, and it takes time, and it's a continuous journey, and it transcends over lifetimes, because something which you're carrying for such a long time, it is going to take as much time or maybe longer for you to kind of heal those parts. And when we use the word healing, it often feels like, we are doing some kind of repair work. So I just wanted to clarify that we are not doing any kind of repair work. There is nothing that you need to fix. It's just that you need to understand that you are, as a soul, you have just kind of forgotten who you truly are, what your unique gifts and talents are, what is your higher purpose, and why did you reincarnate though. So healing is actually a process of remembrance. It is going to help you to remember all parts of you, and also accept with lot of love and compassion. You are going to have that kind of acceptance for all parts of you. There is this very beautiful modality called the shadow work, which helps you to make all these unconscious and shadow aspects of our personality conscious. And once you understand you have these different aspects of your personality, you start, most of the time we are trying to hide these parts of us, and we are not, we live in denial. We don't want to come in face to face with these aspects of us. So it's very, very important that we become whole again. We are whole, it's just that we have that kind of acceptance. So healing is that process of remembrance and expansion and evolution. It's not something to fix us or repair any kind of damage. So, and it is not a linear process, because when you embark on this journey, you will feel like nothing is working, and all when you are actually releasing any kind of past trauma or wound or dense emotions, you may feel even more emotional, and you might need to take a lot of rest and hydrate yourself. So all of these, if you do not have the right knowledge around it, you may feel that it's not even working. And therefore, it's very important for us to understand that um, healing it happens in spirals. It is not linear, also because you will see that similar kind of situations and challenges are coming in your life again and again, and old patterns are repeating, but they are actually not repeating. You are moving through similar kind of situations, but with deeper insights. You have gained better insights, and you are able to deal with similar situations and similar challenges with more emotional maturity, with more, with a different, perspective towards that challenge. So that is progress. So you will be moving in circles, in spiral. You will be moving through similar kind of, situations, but your ability to respond to that situation is going to improve as you continue on the path of healing.
Yes, of course, ma'am. Consider we are going to travel in a train. We do not know about the destination. We are just fixing some kind of destination. But in the middle of the journey, we'll be like, okay, that's not my destination. I have to get somewhere else. But you have to remember one thing: the more far you travel from your destination, it will be like, I mean, the more forward you travel from your source, it will be taking this very similar time to reach back. So, in the same way, in this
Yeah.
kind of spiritual journey of life, the more thing you suffered in your life, it will take, as you told, in the repairing path, we'll be having facing a lot of emotions. In order to take, I mean, overcome that emotions, of course, we need time. So,
Yeah.
whatever the things you told, it's 100% right, man. So, you actually emphasize that healing is essential for everyone. So, why do you actually believe this? Especially since not everyone may feel like they have major challenges to address, and also, how can we approach healing in a way that feels nurturing, even if we don't think that we have big problems in our life, ma'am?
So I think it's very important to understand again that healing is not a process of fixing. It is about awakening and remembering all parts of us. So we all have these unique gifts and talents. We kind of either we are not aware of it, or we are trying to put it aside because life is happening all the time to us. So healing and expansion process helps us to awaken these parts within us. And for somebody who is looking for their purpose, what is their higher purpose in life, so when you embark on the healing and expansion journey, your purpose is going to reveal itself to you, because you are basically removing all the layers and parts of you which are not you. So it's like there is this mirror, but it is full of dust, and you're trying to look at yourself, look at your reflection in the mirror, but it's not clear. So right now, because of our years of conditioning, there's a lot of dust on the mirror, and therefore we really do not have any idea who we truly are. So healing is basically a process of removal of that dust, so that you understand and you see a clear reflection of yourself in the mirror, right? So it's a process of removal of that dust. So it's not necessary that you need to have a severe or intense problem in your life to address. Only then you should take healing. I think healing is in general going to bring you closer to yourself. If you are, so there's something called as self-love, right? In spirituality, we say that the highest form of love is to love yourself. Why? Because God is not somewhere outside. God is within us, right? So we are always looking for answers on the outside. All the answers are within us. So our relationship with the world is actually a reflection of our relationship with ourselves. So how much do we love ourselves? If on a scale of 0 to 10, it's, let's say for someone it is 3 on 10, right? But this person doesn't have any pressing problem in their life, but they know, okay, there's this, I love only this much. I love myself only this much, 3 on 10. So healing and expansion will help them to, increase that score from 3 to 5 to 7 to 10 on 10. And the more they love themselves, their outer reality is going to, reflect it back to them. So they are going to definitely make huge progress in terms of attracting, better relationships, more abundance in their life, having more fulfilling and content life. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, when you are traveling in car, if we do not clean our windshield, it's full of dust. We will not be having a proper view, and because of it, we can't reach our destination at a very, very high speed. And also, at the same time, it will be a lot of struggle for us. So, in the same way, if we don't love ourselves, we can't find love in others. And if we want to love
Yeah.
ourselves, first we want to try to heal ourselves because of the kind of traumas which we faced in our life. I think healing is the only way which the clients come to you. You actually help them as a windshield from in a car, which will try to clean the dust. In the same way, you just try to clean the soul of the clients that are coming to you, ma'am. So also at the same
Yeah.
time, when someone reaches out to you, so what does your actually process look like in helping them, and how do you approach their healing and transformation, and what can they expect from the working that you're doing right now, ma'am?
Yeah, so it truly depends on where they are on their journey of life. So if they have, that space, mind space where they can, work on themselves, and they resonate with my group programs. So I run these long form coaching programs, coaching containers, like the Power Manifester or Heal or, Devi or Embodied Wealth. So these are different kinds of group coaching and mentoring programs where we all, come as a community of people and we work on a common goal. So if a person is willing to, work with something like this, we go for that. Or there are a lot of people who want to work one on one. So it depends what is their need at that point in time in their life. And a lot of people take all services, so there are certain people who will take healing. They will also do the group coaching programs. They're also there in the Bhagavad Gita circle. They also take one-on-one sessions. So it's completely an individual's need. And so I kind of put all my offerings on the platter, and it depends upon them what their need is, and what they resonate with at that point in time. And we have to give ourselves the permission to continuously evolve. So right now I might feel that, okay, I can just take healing because I do not have any time and space for doing anything all, on my own. So I just need your guidance. If the client says like that, so I recommend them to take Ho'oponopono distance healing sessions where they don't have to do anything at all. um, and if they are willing to kind of put in work from their end, then I have other things as well to suggest. Yeah.
So, last question of this interview. What is the message that you wanted to tell to the audience who are watching this interview right now, ma'am?
I think you are truly unique, and you are here for a reason. And this journey of life is a blessing and a privilege. Don't let it go waste. Don't try to live your life um, as prescribed by others. All the answers that you're looking for is within you. I think the most important work we all have in this lifetime is to remember. This is the path of remembrance, journey of remembrance. We are on this journey of remembering who we truly are, and you must walk this path for whatever it takes. Just do it. It's worth it. Yeah.
So, thank you, ma'am, for accepting me to host this wonderful interview. And we have actually learned a lot regarding spiritual transformation. Also, as a healer, coach, you have actually spent time with us elaborately explaining a lot of healing techniques, so physically and mentally. And also, people who are watching this interview right now, please do subscribe to our Women Today channel. Please click on the bell icon so that you can receive notifications whenever I do post new videos regarding many interviews about women entrepreneurs and working women across different cities in India and also across the world, because I do online interviews to different persons, and also I do visit them in their premises, in the office premises, and do offline interviews. So if you have any doubts, do comment in the comment section. I'll be there to help you out. And particularly if you have any doubts regarding spiritual transformation and regarding healing coach, please, there is our Tanu ma'am who is there for you to heal and to bring a positivity in your life. She is currently right now in Pune. So you do also offline kind of sessions, or you do only online sessions, ma'am?
Right now, it's quite limited to online because I'm a frequent traveler. So I keep shuttling between two countries. So some months in the year I'm living in Germany, and right now in Pune. So yes, mostly my work is 99% online. If anybody wants to get in touch with me, they can get in touch with me through Instagram. So my Instagram handle is new underscore earth underscore spiritual underscore school. Yeah. So yeah, new earth spiritual school.
So don't need to worry about the kind of spellings that you told right now. I'll mention her Instagram link in the YouTube
Yeah.
description down here. So please go on, see the handle, take some guidance. So if you want any kind of healing sessions with Tanu ma'am, she is happy to help you out. As she told, she is busy in Pune, and also she is heading to travel between Germany and Pune. I do understand that you're busy with your work commitments. And thank you once again for watching this Woman Today YouTube channel, this wonderful interview. And today's your host is Krishna, and today's our guest is Tanu, a very famous spiritual transformation and healing coach from Pune. So thank you once again, ma'am. Have a very good day.
Thank you so much, Krishna Kumar, for having me.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.